What if the foods you eat every day are quietly making your glaucoma worse, even the ones you think are healthy? It sounds shocking, but new research is shining a light on how certain common foods can increase eye pressure and speed up optic nerve damage. If you're over 60 or living with glaucoma, this is something you absolutely need to know, because it's not just about eye drops or surgery. Your diet could be the missing piece. Today, we're breaking down the 7 worst foods that could be silently harming your vision. From sneaky ingredients in your pantry to foods labeled as low-fat or heart-healthy, you might be surprised by what makes the list. And more importantly, we'll show you what to eat instead. So ask yourself, could your next meal be helping your eyes or hurting them? Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to cut from your plate to help protect your vision for the long haul. Most people don't realize it until it's too late. Glaucoma quietly sneaks up like a thief in the night, stealing vision little by little, often without any early signs. It's not just one condition, but a family of eye disorders that damage the optic nerve, and if left unchecked, it can lead to irreversible blindness. Elevated intraocular pressure. But here's something that might surprise you: what you eat has a real impact on this pressure. That's right, your daily meals might be either quietly protecting your eyes or unknowingly accelerating vision loss. And this is where a carefully managed glaucoma diet becomes your secret weapon. Worst food number 1: trans fats. One of the biggest dietary threats for anyone managing glaucoma is trans fats. These artificial fats often hide in everyday foods like packaged snacks, margarine, frozen pizzas, and fast food fries. While they're widely known for harming heart health, their impact on eye health is just as concerning. Trans fats increase LDL, the so-called bad cholesterol, while lowering HDL, the good kind. This imbalance leads to clogged arteries and restricted blood flow. And when blood circulation to the optic nerve is reduced, intraocular pressure can rise, which is a major concern for glaucoma. For someone over 60, that risk becomes even more significant. Choosing a microwavable snack or fast food meal might be convenient, but it could be quietly contributing to long-term vision damage. In fact, research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition links high trans fat intake to impaired vascular function, which can worsen glaucoma symptoms. The good news is that small changes can make a big difference. Replacing margarine with olive oil, skipping fried foods in favor of baked or air-fried options. These are simple swaps that can support better circulation and help prevent vision loss over time. Every decision you make in the kitchen is another opportunity to protect your eyesight. Worst food number 2: saturated fats. Saturated fats, a close cousin of trans fats, are another group worth watching closely if you're living with glaucoma. They're commonly found in red meats, full-fat dairy, butter, and rich, creamy sauces. These fats increase LDL cholesterol, which narrows blood vessels and raises blood pressure, 2 factors that can contribute to higher intraocular pressure, making them a serious concern for anyone trying to follow a glaucoma diet. The good news is, protecting your vision doesn't mean sacrificing taste. It's about making smarter choices. Instead of beef ribs with heavy gravy, consider grilled salmon with herbs, rich in omega-3s and known to support eye health. Swap buttered toast for avocado on whole grain bread, or use olive oil instead of cream-based dressings. These aren't just nutrition trends, they're practical ways to improve circulation and support long-term eye function. The Glaucoma Research Foundation emphasizes that a heart-healthy, plant-forward diet can help reduce intraocular pressure and stabilize vision. So whether you're planning meals at home or making decisions at the grocery store, think of every bite as a step toward or away from protecting your eyesight. Each choice counts more than most people realize. Worst food number 3: high-sodium foods. Salt is found in nearly everything we eat, and while a little isn't harmful, excessive sodium becomes a problem, especially for those managing glaucoma. High sodium intake can lead to elevated blood pressure, which in turn raises intraocular pressure. Over time, this extra strain on the optic nerve increases the risk of damage and vision loss. Many common foods are surprisingly high in salt. Canned soups, deli meats, frozen dinners, and salty snacks are all everyday items that may contain more sodium than your body needs in an entire day. These foods are convenient, but they can quietly act as glaucoma triggers. To support long-term eye health, it's important to read nutrition labels carefully and opt for low-sodium versions whenever possible. Or better yet, prepare meals at home where you control the seasoning. Research published in Frontiers in Nutrition found a strong connection between sodium-rich diets and an increased risk of glaucoma, especially in those with a genetic predisposition. Fortunately, flavor doesn't have to suffer. Fresh herbs, lemon juice, garlic, and spices like black pepper or paprika can enhance taste without compromising your vision. Simple changes, like swapping a processed ham sandwich for a turkey and avocado wrap on whole grain bread, or replacing salted peanuts with unsalted almonds, can have a meaningful impact. These choices don't just improve your diet, they give you more control over your eye health. Now, let's turn to another everyday habit that might seem harmless, but could be putting extra pressure on your eyes. Worst food number 4, caffeine. Caffeine doesn't need to be completely off limits, but for those with glaucoma, it's important to keep an eye on how much you're consuming. High doses can temporarily raise intraocular pressure, quietly adding stress to the optic nerve over time, even if you don't feel it happening. And caffeine isn't just in coffee. It's also in energy drinks, sodas, teas, and chocolate, which means even small daily indulgences can add up. That's why caffeine should be on the list of foods to limit when managing glaucoma. Experts recommend staying under 200 milligrams a day, roughly 1 strong cup of coffee. Herbal teas like chamomile or rooibos, or caffeine-light options like matcha, can give you energy without the pressure spike. With a few simple swaps, you can still enjoy your routine while protecting your vision. Now, while caffeine can put pressure on your eyes, the next item on our list brings its own kind of trouble, especially if you've got a sweet tooth. Worst food number 5, sugary foods and beverages. Sugar is everywhere, in your cereal, fruit juice, granola bars, and pastries, and while it may taste comforting, it's far from friendly when it comes to glaucoma. High sugar intake can lead to weight gain, insulin resistance, and type 2 diabetes, all of which are linked to rising intraocular pressure and faster vision loss. Spikes in blood sugar trigger inflammation and oxidative stress, weakening blood vessels that support the eyes. Over time, this can increase the pressure that damages the optic nerve. That's why even small daily habits, like sodas or sweet snacks, can quietly work against your eye health. The CDC emphasizes that managing blood sugar helps protect your vision, even if you haven't been diagnosed with diabetes. To support your glaucoma diet, choose whole foods like oats with berries, sparkling water with lemon, or snacks like frozen grapes and almond butter over processed sweets. Balance is key. It's not about cutting sugar completely, but about being mindful of how often it shows up. Your eyes will feel the difference. Now let's move on to another everyday food that might seem harmless, but can crash your blood sugar and eye health just as fast. Worst food number 6, refined carbohydrates. Refined carbohydrates, like white bread, white rice, pancakes, and many processed snacks, might seem harmless, but they act much like sugar once digested. They cause sharp spikes in blood sugar, followed by quick crashes, which trigger inflammation and poor circulation. For those managing glaucoma, this blood sugar roller coaster can increase intraocular pressure and compromise the optic nerve. A study in the Nutrients Journal links diets high in refined carbs to a greater risk of developing glaucoma, especially in older adults. That's because the optic nerve depends on stable pressure and steady blood flow, two things that poor carb choices can easily disrupt. Fortunately, small changes can make a big impact. Try swapping white rice for quinoa, or regular pasta for lentil or chickpea versions. Even sourdough bread is a better option than highly processed loaves. These choices support blood sugar balance and help protect your vision in the long term. Also watch out for refined carbs hiding in breakfast bars, instant noodles, and packaged crackers. Shifting toward whole grains, legumes, and fiber-rich vegetables can help your diet work with you, not against you, when it comes to eye health. And while refined carbs are a common culprit, there's one more everyday indulgence we need to talk about, especially if you enjoy a glass of wine or a drink to unwind. Worst food number 7, alcohol. Alcohol is a common part of social life, but when it comes to glaucoma, it's often overlooked as a risk factor. While an occasional drink might seem harmless, alcohol can interfere with hydration and circulation, two factors that directly affect intraocular pressure. Even mild dehydration can trigger temporary pressure spikes, putting added strain on the optic nerve. frequent or heavy drinking increases that risk. The American Academy of Ophthalmology recommends limiting intake to 1 drink per day for women and 2 for men. It's not about eliminating alcohol entirely, it's about being mindful of how often and how much you drink. Choosing red wine with a Mediterranean-style meal, staying away from sugary mixed drinks, and alternating alcoholic beverages with water are all smart ways to reduce the impact. And if you drink to unwind, herbal teas like lavender or chamomile, or even a turmeric latte, can offer a calming alternative. Today's non-alcoholic wines and beers are also a great option for maintaining eye-friendly habits. Alcohol can also interact with glaucoma medications, reducing their effectiveness or causing side effects. And it disrupts sleep, which is another hidden factor in rising eye pressure. When used regularly, alcohol becomes more than just a casual drink. It turns into a quiet contributor to optic nerve stress. Small changes in your routine can go a long way in supporting your eye health and your overall well-being. Now that you've learned the 7 worst foods to avoid with glaucoma, the real question is, what will you do with this information? Will these foods keep quietly putting your vision at risk, or will you take this moment to make meaningful eye-saving changes? Picture yourself a year from now, feeling more energized, more confident, and knowing that you're taking real steps to protect your eyesight. That kind of progress begins with the simple choices you make every day, especially when it comes to what's on your plate. If this video gave you new insight or made you rethink your habits, be sure to like it and share it with someone who could benefit, especially if they're over 60. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss future videos packed with health tips just like this. And before you head out, check out the next video on your screen. It's all about the best foods for lowering eye pressure and supporting your overall wellness. It's the perfect next step in your journey to better vision and better health.